You break through your shell blinking at the world. For the very first time, your mom, she laid the egg and left you. Never met her. And honestly, you're not going to Dodo. Parenting isn't exactly a long-term commitment. It's all up to you. Now, you flop onto the ground and give standing a shot. Your stubby little legs are about as cooperative as two bent sticks. And after a couple of face plants, you're on your feet. You wobble forward, your fat, useless wings flapping to keep your balance. It's awkward, but it works. Your first task is to figure out what's edible. You walk over to a berry on the ground, peck at it, and bingo. It turns out your instincts are decent, sweet, mushy, and exactly what you needed with a belly full of berries. You realize you've got the essentials down. Walk, eat, repeat. Looks like you're going to make it for now. At least a few weeks in. You're starting to get the hang of being a dodo. Your legs are sturdier now, and you've stopped falling over quite so much. The forest is your playground, and it's packed with food, berries, seeds, roots. They're everywhere. And you've developed a keen eye for spotting the best ones. You've also figured out that swallowing rocks is just something you do. They're not tasty, but help smash up all the tough stuff in your stomach. It's kind of weird. Sure, but if it works, it works. Every so often, you run into other young doos, you sniff each other, stand there staring like you're both waiting for a thought to show up, and then just walk off. Maybe one of you lets out a squawk for no reason, but that's about as deep as your interactions get. Teamwork isn't really your thing. You're all just here to eat as much as possible and hope for the best. Who needs friends when you've got berries? By now, you've turned into a proper lump of a bird. That skinny little thing you were before is gone, and now you're big round and stomping around like you own the place. Why wouldn't you? There's nothing chasing you. Food is everywhere. And honestly, it hasn't crossed your mind that life could ever be any different. Thinking ahead isn't exactly your strong suit. By the time you're a year old, you have your day all sorted out in the morning. You look for food in the afternoon, you sleep, and in the evening, you look for more food. You've even nailed the art of finding berries that are perfectly ripe and swallowing the occasional rock to keep your digestion running smoothly. Efficiency is your middle name. Your wings, however, are still a disappointment. Flapping them doesn't do much except stir up dust, so you've mostly given up. Flying seems like a hassle anyway. Everything you need is right here on the ground, and you're not exactly in a rush to go anywhere. Exploring new parts of the forest is about as adventurous as you get. Usually, it's just more of the same trees, roots, berries, but every now and then you stumble across something exciting, like a particularly big rock, or a weirdly shaped leaf. Not thrilling, but it keeps things interesting. Still, there's this faint unease you can't quite shake. The island is quiet, almost too quiet, and there's this nagging feeling that things won't stay this way forever. You don't know why, but it lingers in the back of your mind for now. Though life is simple. You eat, you nap, and you let the days roll by. If something's about to go wrong, it hasn't happened yet. So why worry, spoiler? You probably should. One morning you're walking through your usual berry-picking route when you notice something unusual. The horizon isn't empty anymore. There are strange boxy things bobbing in the water, boats, big wooden ones. You squint at them, not entirely sure what they are, but they don't seem to be doing much. So you go back to foraging. You are halfway through stuffing your face with nuts. When the boats start unloading, weird creatures start walking around. At first, you're curious. These creatures are loud, stomping around, like they have never walked on land before. They're carrying long sticks and look very serious about something. You tilt your head watching as they set up strange piles of sticks that eventually burst into flames. Fascinating, one of them notices you, he approaches, and you just stand there. Why wouldn't you? Nothing has ever tried to hurt you before you blink, waiting to see what happens next. But then he grabs you, just like that. One minute, you're minding your own business, and the next, you're dangling in the air like a sack of berries. This is where you learn two very important lessons. One, humans are not your friends. Two, you're not as fast as you thought you were. The human finally puts you down, but not before giving you a look that says, "Do I roast this now or marinate it first?" You have never felt so judged in your life. You ran away quickly, but the encounter sticks with you. These creatures are different. The next few weeks are chaos. The humans make themselves at home, chopping down trees, building fires, and stomping through your peaceful little island like they own the place. Worse, they bring company rats, run around the forest floor, stealing eggs from nests. Pigs are everywhere, destroying plants and digging up the ground as if they're on a mission to ruin your day. You even spot monkeys swinging through the trees, grabbing fruit faster than you can. And the humans, they seem to have developed a taste for dodo meat. At first, you notice them picking up fruit and messing with trees, so you keep eating and try not to pay attention. Then, one day, while you are pecking at some berries, you hear a loud commotion. You look up and see one of the humans grabbing your neighbor, a dodo you vaguely remember standing next to at a fruit tree last week. The human lifts him up, and your neighbor squawks and flaps his fat wings in panic, but it does nothing. You watch frozen as the human carries him off toward the strange camp they have set up near the edge of the forest. It's far enough away that you can't see much, but you hear noises, screaming, shouting the unmistakable crack of something sharp. Then silence. You wait, expecting your neighbor to come running back, maybe a little shaken, but otherwise fine. But he doesn't. Instead, you see the humans standing around their fire. One of them is holding something over the flames, turning it slowly. At first, you do not understand, but then a smoky, meaty smell drifts toward you, and it hits you. They are eating him, your neighbor, the same bird you stood next to while sniffing at fallen berries. You step back into the cover of the trees, heart pounding, unsure of what to do. For the first time, you feel fear up until now. Nothing in your life has been dangerous. Now you realize you are not just a bird to them. You are food. Suddenly eating berries feels less important than finding a place to hide things are changing, and not for the better. The forest that used to be your personal buffet is starting to look empty. The humans chop down trees for their fires. The pigs uproot your favorite food, and the rats keep raiding nests, like it's some sort of sport every time you think you found a good spot to eat. it's already been picked clean or trampled into the dirt. The dews try to adapt, some move further, inland, hoping to escape the chaos. Others get creative with their nesting spots, tucking eggs into harder to reach places. But none of it seems to work every day. There are fewer of you. The forest is quieter now, and not in a good way. It feels like you're waiting for something, though you're not sure what your once simple life is, now a daily game of avoidance. You spend most of your time hiding in the bushes, hoping no one notices you. Your big body isn't exactly built for stealth, but you do your best. Sometimes you go a whole day without being seen, and it feels like a small victory. The problem is, there's nowhere to run. Mischief is only so big, and the humans and their animals are everywhere. You're not fast enough to outrun a pig, not sneak enough to dodge a rat, and definitely not intelligent enough to outsmart a human. All you can do is keep going, hoping that tomorrow will be easier. Weeks turn into months, though you've lost track of how many times starts to lose meaning. When every day is just another struggle to get by you. Wake up, search for food, and try to stay out of sight. Some days, you find enough to eat. Other days, you don't. The once abundant forest is now a patchwork of bare branches and trampled ground, and it's getting harder and harder to survive deep down. You know the truth. The Dodo days are numbered. You don't know exactly when or how it will happen, but you can feel it in your bones. The world has changed, and there's no going back. For now, though, you keep walking, because what else can you do? One day, you realize you're alone. Not just no dodos, nearby alone, but properly, truly alone. You haven't heard a squawk in days. Or has it been weeks? You are not sure anymore. The forest feels smaller, somehow emptier. It's quiet. Too quiet, you wander through. What's left, pecking at whatever scraps you can find? A few wilted leaves here, a half-rotten berry there. It's not much, but it keeps you moving as you walk along. You catch yourself thinking about how things used to be. It wasn't a thrilling life, but it was simple, predictable, yours. There were berries to eat, rocks to swallow, naps to take. And that was enough now, though. Everything feels wrong. The air smells different. The ground feels harder. And the forest doesn't sound like it used to. Even the food tastes off, like it's missing something. You can't quite place. You try to focus on foraging, but your mind keeps drifting back to the past, before the boats, before the humans, before everything changed. You find a quiet patch of forest, far from the humans and their animals. It's peaceful here, or as close to peaceful as things get. Now you settle in, picking at the last scraps of food you can find. There's no rush, no goal, just the same routine of eating and resting. One morning, you walk toward a shady spot. Standing takes more effort than it should. So you lower yourself down, letting the faint warmth of the sun soak into your feathers. The air is still, and for the first time in a long